Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, as requested by senior devotees, we are continuing our Krishna book reading from today onwards. So, when we stopped before Kartik Yatra, we were at the prayers of Akrūra. So, we'll start from there. So, I will share my screen. Vedabase, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and devotees can also open their hard copy, soft copy, and they can also see on the screen. So, it's a small chapter. We'll read one paragraph, and then at the end we'll keep 4 or 5 minutes for any reflections or any question answers. So I think by 9 o'clock we should be able to finish this chapter. Let me share my screen. So all devotees will get chance to read. So um, I request everyone to please be attentive. When your turn comes, you can unmute yourself and read. Okay. So this is chapter number 40 from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapter 40, Prayers by Akrūra. Akrūra offered his prayers as follows. My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the supreme cause of all causes and the original inexhaustible personality, Nārāyaṇa. From your navel, a lotus flower grows, and from that lotus, Brahmā, the creator of this universe, is born. Since Brahmā is the cause of this universe, you are the cause of all causes. The elements of this cosmic manifestation, earth, water, fire, air, ether, ego, and total material energy, as well as nature, marginal energy, living entities, mind, senses, sense objects, and demigods who control the affairs of the cosmos, are all produced from your body. Okay. Next paragraph, who will read? So whoever is ready can unmute
I
and
can read.
read the next paragraph.
Yes, Roger, I can read.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. You are the super soul of everything, but no one knows your transcendental form. Everyone within this material world is influenced by the modes of material nature. Even demigods, like Lord Brahma, being covered by the influence of material nature, do not exactly know your transcendental existence beyond the cosmic manifestation of the three modes of material nature. Great sages and mystics worship you as the supreme personality of Godhead, the original cause of all living entities, all cosmic manifestation, and all demigods. They worship you as all inclusive. Some of the learned Brahmanas also worship you by observing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. They offer different kinds of sacrifices in the names of different gods. And there are other also who are fond of worshipping transcendental knowledge. They are very peaceful, and after giving up all kinds of material activities, they engage in the sacrifice known as Jnana Yajna, the philosophical search for you.
Thank you. Um, Next, who will like to read next? Can unmute and read.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are also there are also devotees known as Bhagavatas who worship you as the supreme personality of Godhead. After being properly initiated in the matter of Pancharatra, they decorate their bodies with tilaka and engage in worshipping your different forms of Vishnu Murti. There are others also known as Shivites, followers of different acharyas who worship you in the form of Lord Shiva.
You can read one more.
Yes, Prabhuji. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that worship of demigods is also indirectly worship of the Supreme Lord. But such worship is not orthodox because the worshipable Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narayana. Demigods such as Brahma and Shiva are incarnations of the material qualities. which are also emanations from the body of Narayana. Actually, there was no one existing before the creation except Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The worship of a demigod is not on the same level as the worship of Narayana.
Okay. Aditya Prabhu, can you read next?
Yes, Prabhupada. Akrūra said, although the minds of those who are devotees of the demigods are fixed on a particular demigod, because you are the super soul of all living entities, including the demigods, worship of all demigods indirectly goes to you. Sometimes, after flowing down from the mountains during the rainy season, small rivers fail to reach the sea. Some reach the sea and some do not. Similarly, the worshippers of the demigods may or may not reach you. There is no guarantee. So their success depends on the strength of their worship.
You can read one more.
According to the Vedic principles, when a worshipper worships a particular demigod, he also conducts some ritual for Nārāyaṇa, Yagneshwara. For, as is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the demigods cannot fulfill the desires of their worshippers without the sanction of Nārāyaṇa or Kṛṣṇa. The exact words used in the Bhagavad Gita are Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan, which means that the demigods can award some benedictions after being authorized by the Supreme Lord. When a demigod worshipper comes to his senses, he can reason as follows. The demigods can offer benedictions only after being empowered by the Supreme Lord. So why not worship the Supreme Lord directly? Such a worshipper of the demigods may come to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but others, who take the demigods as all in all, cannot reach the ultimate goal.
Thank you. Next. Aman Prabhu, you can read.
From which paragraph, Prabhuji? According to Vedic principle.
Akrūra continued. वहां से.
Akrūra continued to pray, my dear Lord, the whole world is filled with the three material modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone within this material world is covered by these modes, from Lord Brahma down to the non moving plants and trees. My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because you are beyond the influence of the three modes. Except for you, everyone is being carried away by the waves of these modes. My dear Lord, fire is your mouth, the earth is your feet, the sun is your eye, the sky is your navel, and the directions are your ears. Space is your head, the demigods are your arms, the oceans and seas are your abdomen, and the winds and air are your strength and vitality. All the plants and herbs are the hairs on your body. The clouds are the hair on your head. The mountains are your bones and nails. The days and nights are the blinking of your eyelids. Prajapati, the progenitor, is your genitals, and the rains are your semen.
Thank you. Harsh. Harsh Prabhu, can you read next?
Yes, Prabhu. Through screen,
You are able to see
I
my
cannot
screen?
see the paragraph. Yes, now yes, yes. My dear Lord, all living entities, including different grades of demigods and different grades of overlords, kings, and other living entities, are residing in you as parts and parcels of the big unit. One cannot know you by experimental knowledge. One can simply understand your transcendental existence to be like the great ocean, in which different grades of living entities are included, or like the Udumbara fruit, out of which small mosquitoes come. My dear Lord, whatever eternal forms and incarnations you accept when you appear in this world are meant for relieving
the living entities of their ignorance, illusion, and lamentation. All people, therefore, can appreciate the incarnations and pastimes of your Lordship and eternally glorify your activities. No one can estimate how many forms and incarnations you have, nor can anyone estimate the number of universes that are existing within you.
Okay, thank you. Next. Prashant Prabhu, would you like to read next?
Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the fish incarnation who appeared in the uh, ocean of devastation. Although your lordship is the cause of all causes, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the higher grieve incarnation who killed the two demons Madhu and Kai- Kaitaba. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you who appeared as a gigantic tortoise that hold up the great mountain Mandara and who appeared as the boar that rescued the earth planet, which had fallen into the water of the Garbhodaka. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto your lordship, who appeared as Narsimdev to deliver all kinds of devotees from the fearful condition of atheistic uh, aro- aro- atrocities. atro- atrocities. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appeared as Vaman Dev and covered the three worlds simply by extending your lotus feet. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appeared as the Lord of the Bhragus in order to kill all the infidel administrators of the world. And let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appeared as a Lord Ram to kill demons like Ravana, who are worshipped by all the devotees as the chief of the Raghu dynasty. Lord Ramchandra, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appears as Lord Vasudev, Lord Sankarsana, Lord Pradyumna, and Lord Aniruddha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appears as Lord Buddha to bewilder the atheistic and demonic, and let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who appears as Kalki to chastise the so-called royal order degraded to the ab- abominable condition of the Manasseh who are below the jurisdiction of Vedic regulative principles.
Thank you. Saurabh Prabhu, would you like to read next paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji. My dear Lord, everyone within this material world is conditioned by your illusory energy, under the impression of false identification and false possession. Everyone is transmigrating from one body to another on the path of fruitive activities and their reactions. My dear Lord, I am no exception among these conditioned souls. I am falsely thinking myself happy in possessing my home, wife, children, state, property, and friends. In this way, I am acting as if in a dreamland, because none of these are permanent. I am a fool to be always absorbed in thoughts of such things, accepting them as permanent truths. My dear Lord, due to my false identification, I have accepted as permanent everything which is non permanent, such as this material body, which is not spiritual and is a source of all kinds of miserable conditions. Being bewildered by such concepts of life, I am always absorbed in thoughts of duality, and I have forgotten you. who are the reservoir of all transcendental pleasure. I am bereft of your transcendental association, being just like a foolish creature who leaves a watering hole covered by water nourished vegetation and goes in search of water in the desert. The conditioned souls want to quench their thirst, but they do not know where to find water. They give up the spot where there is actually a reservoir of water and run into the desert where there is no water. My dear Lord, I am completely incapable of controlling my mind, which is now driven by the unbridled senses and is attracted by fruitive activities and the results. Therefore, my intelligence is very miserly. My dear Lord, your lotus feet cannot be appreciated by any person in the conditioned stage of material existence. But somehow or other, I have come near your lotus, and I consider this to be your causeless mercy upon me. You can act in any way because you can thus understand that when a person becomes eligible to be delivered from the path of repeated birth and death, it is only by your causeless mercy that he comes nearer to your lotus feet and become attached to your devotional service.
Thank you. Vaishnu, would you like to read the last paragraph?
Hare Krishna. Yes, from Akrūra Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay. Akrūra fell down before the Lord and said, My dear Lord, your transcendental eternal form is full of knowledge. Simply by concentrating one's mind upon your form, one can understand in full knowledge everything that we, because you are the original source of all knowledge. You are the supreme powerful, possessing all kind of energies. You are the supreme Brahman and the supreme person, supreme controller and master of the material energies. I offer my respectful obeisances upon you because you are Veda, the resting place of all creation. You are the all pervading supreme personality of Godhead, and you are also the supreme soul residing in everyone's heart and giving direction to act. Now, my Lord, I am completely surrendered upon you. Please give me your protection.
Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 40th chapter of Krishna, prayers by Akrūra. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. So tomorrow when we will come for book reading session, we will start with Krishna entering Mathura, Mathura Lila. So we have 5 minutes more. Any reflections from anyone, any devotees they want to share uh, from the prayers of Akrūra? If you have got any understanding or any point you liked very much. So we have a couple of minutes. You can unmute and share. So one point which I liked very much was in this prayer, Akrūra was comparing Krishna with the universal form. He was telling that the mountain is Mahavishnu and the rain, the rainfall is the semen of the Lord, and the Prajapati Daksha, the Prajapatis, they are the genitals of the Lord, and like that he was comparing the different um, natures, the mother nature with Krishna's universal form. So when we see the clouds, when we see the rains, when we see the mountains, when we see the rivers, we can remember Krishna. So that increases our absorption. Like Prabhupada said, when you see the blue sky, you should remember that blue color is the effulgence coming from Krishna's body. So in that way, we can always remain Krishna conscious. So that point I liked very much. And also he told about the different incarnations, the 10 incarnations he told. Krishna comes as fish incarnation as Haigriva, as Narsimha, Vamana, and ultimately he comes as Kalki Avatar. So that is also very amazing prayers which he offered in this chapter. Any other reflection from anyone? I will stop after 2 minutes.
Prabhuji, I had a question.
Yes, Aditya Prabhu.
हाँ प्रभुजी, इसमें मुझको ये पूछना था कि ये मन जो है ये इंद्रियों को नियंत्रण करता है कि इंद्रियों से मन नियंत्रित होता है, क्योंकि इसमें ये पॉइंट आया था, तो ये डाउट था मेरा।
Actually, Prabhupada gives analogy of chariot and charioteer. So we can remember that analogy when we are dealing with mind. Like Prabhupada says, our five senses, eyes, nose, ear, tongue, skin, they are all controlled by the mind. Mind should be controlled by the intelligence, and intelligence should be guided by the soul. But when the mind gets corrupted, then जैसे उन्होंने वो फोटो में लगाम का एग्जांपल दिया है, if you lose the control, अगर ड्राइवर इंटेलिजेंस loses the control over the लगाम, क्या होगा? All the senses will go astray in 10 different directions, and there will be havoc. So mind is the master of all the senses. कर्मेंद्रिय ज्ञानेंद्रिय सबका स्वामी मन है, मन का स्वामी बुद्धि है, बुद्धि का स्वामी आत्मा है, और आत्मा का स्वामी कौन है? परमात्मा है. सो इसलिए वो जो चैरियट है इसमें दो लोग बैठे हैं, पैसेंजर पैसेंजर एंड देयर इज वन मोर, द फ्रेंड ऑफ द पैसेंजर, एंड इंटेलिजेंस इज द ड्राइवर. तो अगर परमात्मा की बात आत्मा सुनता है तो बुद्धि उसके कंट्रोल में रहेगी, बुद्धि कंट्रोल में रहेगी तो मन नियंत्रण में रहेगा, मन नियंत्रण में रहेगा तो हमारी जितनी भी इंद्रिया है, कर्मेंद्रिया ज्ञानेंद्रिया, दे विल ऑलवेज रिमेन सबऑर्डिनेट टू अस. एंड फॉर दैट every day we do chanting of Hare Krishna, Manatrayati iti mantra, to control the mind. And for intelligence, we are reading Prabhupada books every day to sharpen the intelligence. So इस तरह से हम लोग मन और बुद्धि दोनों पे कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. Is that answer your question?
जी प्रभुजी, थैंक यू।
Okay. समय हो गया है, so we will end here, and let's meet tomorrow again at 8:30 for the next chapter. So one last point, if you see Krishna book carefully, first 40 chapters they talk about Vrindavan Leela. From 41 to 50, it will talk about Mathura Leela, and from 51 to 90, Dwarka Leela. So Krishna book is divided into three parts, and 10th canto also. So 40 chapters we have completed. So Vrindavan Leela is over now. Now Krishna will enter Pura, and then after 10 chapters, 51 onwards, the Dwarka Leela will begin. Dwarka, Hastinapur, Mahabharat, सब उसमें आता है फिर. So just a note for all of you. So from tomorrow we'll begin a new section in the Krishna book. Okay, समय हो गया है, so we'll end here. Thank you.